Up at 30,000 feet, you simply can't see the damage the plane you're on is doing to the planet. But each flight emits greenhouse gases directly into a sensitive layer of the upper atmosphere. There is a European plan to set limits on these emissions that many airlines are resisting. And that's triggered an extraordinary outburst from a government minister. In a newspaper interview, Ian Pearson, an environment minister, accused British Airways of only just about playing ball on climate change. The attitude of the US airline industry, he said, was a disgrace, completely irresponsible, for threatening to sue the EU over its plans. And most venomous of all, the attack on Ryanair, the irresponsible face of capitalism. No surprise, Ryanair has hit back hard.
We're the greenest airline in Europe, but, you know, being savaged by a dead sheep, as we were by this minister this morning, is like water off a duck's back.
Tonight, Ian Pearson was reluctant to say much more. He's broken government ranks, but stands by what he said.
Well, I don't want to get into a war of words, but the key point here is that climate change is a here and now issue. It's really important. We need to do something about it.
Aircraft only produce a small percentage of the world's greenhouse gases, but that's rising incredibly fast. For a simple reason, flying is very popular. Restricting it is never going to be easy. The airlines say their planes add far less to global warming than our cars and power stations, and that air travel drives economic growth. Last year, more than 200 million journeys were made on planes taking off from British airports.
It's giving the public what they want. We're all so terribly selfish, aren't we, that they are cheap, so we will use them.
Critics say that dilemma is reflected in the contradictions of government policy, encouraging airport expansion while warning about climate change. The Conservatives are thinking of a tougher line, maybe charging VAT on domestic flights.
All of this not about just making the airlines a whipping boy, but about simply making sure that aviation, just like the private car or a truck, actually pays the proper cost of the emissions that it's actually causing.
But for all politicians, aviation poses awkward questions. Flying is fundamental to many aspects of our lives, but its impact on the future climate is becoming clearer. David Shukman, BBC News.